The town of West Paris had made a determination in 2017 under 3028, Title 23, Section 3028, which resulted in a public easement due to non-maintenance from 1985 to 2015. No maintenance from 1985 to 2015, or even no maintenance from 1965, would result in a public easement under Title 23, Section 3028, because the abandonment doesn't start at the beginning of the 30-year period, it starts at the end of the 30-year period. When the town made the determination in 2017, it was binding. It resulted in a public easement. The town's alleging that the road was abandoned sometime prior to 1965, and we know that that couldn't be the case because the town had voted the road closed in 1965. According to Title 23, Section 3028 and Title 23, Section 3028-A, a presumption of abandonment can be rebutted by evidence that shows a clear intent by a municipality to consider the road as if it were a town way. In order for the town to vote the road closed in 1965, it had to have been a town way in order for the town to do it. And that vote to close the road in 1965 effectively rebuts the town's presumption of abandonment prior to 1965. The town's 2017 determination, which is binding, and results in a public easement. The town made a notice of determination of presumption of abandonment in 2017, and that resulted in a public easement due to non-maintenance from April 15, 1985 to April 15, 2015. Earlier I mentioned that the town voted the road closed in 1965, and this is my proof to that. That this is an attested letter from the town from John White, the former town manager of West Paris, saying that the town voted the road closed in 1965. Roberta Manor had mentioned there was a couple of cases that she had mentioned, and I had actually brought those cases here. One, Minor versus Benton. The town voted the road closed in 1945, and the court had determined the road was abandoned and it retained a public easement 30 years after that 1945 vote to close the road. I have another court decision here, Agoscotty County, Scotty versus Sire versus the inhabitants of the town of Green. And basically what had happened there, the town had voted the road closed in 1949, and the court had determined that the road retained a public easement, that the abandonment actually occurred 30 years after the 1949 vote to close the road. So in 1979, basically it retained a public easement. There's two other examples of that. The law is very clear to the fact that if the town voted the road closed, it's abandoned 30 years after that, and it resulted in a public easement. Yes, I'd like to add that according to testimony, basically that it's my understanding that the gate wasn't placed on the road until after the Cornins had bought their property, is my understanding. I'm guessing it was around, according to Linda Cornin's testimony, it happened around 1988. It was illegally gated off as a public road. The town made their determination in 2017, which resulted in a public easement. And the town had determined that no maintenance from 1985 to 2015, which resulted in a public easement. The town had filed their notice of termination and presumption of abandonment on September 25th, 2017, and recorded it in the Oxford County Registry of Deeds. Finn Road was a town way in order for the town to vote the road closed in 1965, and continued to be a town way up until, well, according to the town's notice of termination and presumption of abandonment, it continued to be a town way until April 15, 2015. At that point, it became a public easement.